Welcome along then to the Challenger attempt again on the free-to-play account. Thursday qualifying, and hopefully we can get this account through nice and safely for a weekend of racing. Hopefully you've seen my main account already, and we've got some decent tracks coming up. We are going with our cornering setup, Series 6, remember, for Challenger. So that is our setup for Series 6. And first of all, we are going to enter this GP, and then we'll come back to show you the setup. So Challenger it is. Not going to go contender just yet. First race is overtaking and cornering. So we need our cornering setup, which we've got. And then we want basically our good overtaking drivers, which I think is probably still going to remain. I mean, we could use Hulkenberg, but he's got a massive qualifying deficit. Sainz not too good, Noise Perez, Magnussen, you can see overtaking is low. So it probably is going to be the best two drivers that we have currently got that we've got to use. And that is, well, we'll find out, Sargent and Zhou Guan Yu, because Hulkenberg just not good enough. But let's just kick it into gear with these two and see what can be done. The Haas Team Series event kicking off with Zandvoort. So here we go then, race number 1, and it's a rival that's simply a little bit higher than ourselves. So I always struggle on this account because I always find it difficult to go between one account and the other. An account with great tyre management compared to an account with pretty low tyre management is always a bit of a pain. Now we need overtaking and cornering on this one, and you can see we start P7 and P10. So I'm going to have to try and go a little bit different on the strategy, probably a 3-3-2 and then maybe a 4-4 we're going to think about. Overtaking and cornering, I mean, I don't have a lot of that stuff. I mean, I might use Copo on Zhou Guan Yu for this one, and then overtaking and cornering, I might just go timeless to try and help our situation a little bit. Now, running hard might bite me in the backside, but we're going to try it and we're going to see how good it is. We're going to try and do that one stop. We've got a perfect start. Let's see if we get away okay. We've got all right at the minute. Zhou Guan Yu, not so much. Sergeant P4 would be nice to get him through a few cars, but he hasn't. Zhou Guan Yu is through a few cars, and he'll be going on that one stop. We're going to continue to push out of this section because this is where we can make good overtaking, as you can see. And there's a lot of cars involved here, and it's all around the back of that P3 Zhou Guan Yu. Can soft tyres get through? Yes, they finally can. Now, rounding the final corner, we should have enough for 3 laps on the softs. We're going to let these two just push out front. We're going to try and keep Zhou Guan Yu in position as well. And we're going to conserve again through this section. Really just trying to keep hold of our power unit, and then we're going to push again, just try and close that gap. Can we sneak a P2 here? Yes, we can. What about Zhou Guan Yu? Keeping stock with P4 mediums, surely not going to run as long here, but we're in a very, very good position. Sargent all over the back now of the rival. We're going to leave them pushing. Zhou Guan Yu's moved up to P4, by the way, as well, and that is a move for P1. So P1 and P4 here, looking very good for a start. And now we can probably just push Zhou Guan Yu all the way in. We're going to keep pushing Zhou. Sargent's going to come in the pits this lap. Remember, he's doing a 2-stop. And then we've got P3 Danny Rick ahead of us. Sargent entering the pits. And we carry on. So Zhou Guan Yu moves into P1. Good tyre management left, though. He's going to use all of our copper boosts up, though, sadly. And he'll continue on. Sargent in P3. Let's just keep using the power unit. I want to come out ahead if I can. In a very nice situation. And remember, I've got 25 plus cornering for this timeless boost. So we're going to try and make the difference as we kick on. Just trying to push all the time we can. As now Zhou Guan Yu enters the pits from P1. Sargent carries on. 8 laps of Zandvoort. Make sure you're pushing. Make sure you let me know down below how you've got on this week so far. Have you qualified? Let me know. And Zhou Guanyu out into the top 3 with a car ahead of him of Max Verstappen on the hard tyres. So a little bit of work to do. But I reckon we can close this. He's surely not going to go to the end, Max Verstappen. And then Sargent carrying through. And we'll pit this lap. So coming round. Zhou Guanyu is closing on the Red Bull, who shouldn't be able to go to the end. Oh, he's got half a tyre though. Could do. I'm going to try and close this gap somehow. We are closing. Are we closing enough though? Are we pushing too much? Riding the curbs, closing the gap, pushing as much as we can for Zhou. And you can see the Red Bull just there. So we are rapidly closing. Think he's still going to pit though. Can't see him doing another 2 laps on that tyre. Which would be good news for us, of course. There's a kick Sauber coming out of the pits. Being annoying. Very annoying. So, that car to beat then. The benchmark. Will it pit? I mean, it should pit. You never know. We are right behind them though now. We have closed that gap tremendously. So if he does pit, we are game on, game done. Just conserving rounds. Is he going to pit? He is not. So here we go then. This is all on it. All on it. Kevin Magnussen ahead of us. Red Bull just getting away from us at the moment. Sargent on the soft tyres though, sneaking in. Kevin in front of us though. Come on, Kevin. Get out of the way. And now we're going to push. I think he's going to survive, but surely Verstappen runs out of tyres. Surely he's going to be out of tyres. And there's the tyre loss. Get in. Sargent comes through. Takes victory. Brilliant. Little stop there. Zhou Guanyu. P2 as well. That is a beautiful P1 and P2. Sargent and Zhou Guanyu. And we do come away from this first Challenger race with 47 points. That is exactly what we needed to kick this off. As the rival comes home, P6, P9, we will quickly show you what the rival was running as well, just so you can see what we were up against. As we could, oh, well, it was, and then I skipped it. So, race number 2 then, off to Spain. 9 laps to come. And the question is, what setup strategy do we use? Obviously, tyre management and cornering. We've got the same setup and a slightly different choice of drivers just to enhance the tyre management. Now, look at the qualifying. Tough. Hamilton 18th. Wow. He's going to do 4 mediums. Is Hamilton. Should be able to get 4 mediums. Need tyre management and cornering. Don't know if we've got a lot of that though. We've got a bit of downforce which we could use. And then Sargent, we're probably going to just use this one and do a 3-3-3. But, I mean, we'll see if we can get the job done with Hamilton on a 4 medium, 5 hard. It's going to be tricky, but we'll give it everything we've got, as we've got a real player too. So Hamilton's qualifying position, absolutely atrocious. That's the problem with using him. He will get an okay start there without a race start, and you can see he's actually got away very well. Sargent, not that great away. He's in P4. Hamilton is flying, by the way, into P10. Here comes Sargent already into P1. Great start by him. Hamilton has moved himself into the top 8, and that's getting even better now. So, I mean, an extra stop for Sargent might not be great, but Hamilton is already up to P5. Down the straight, Sargent's got a nice big gap though. And Hamilton can do 4 mediums very easy here. So actually, this could be another strategy beauty that we've got on the go. We're going to keep pushing Sargent. Try and keep him creating a little bit of a gap. And you can see he is creating that rather nicely. P5. Now P4. surely for Hamilton. Not quite. Rival's pushing hard though, and we can see we're all over the back of that rival, even though we're not pushing. Shows you the setup difference, and we're ahead. P4 Hamilton coming all the way through the field at the moment. Sargent flying along as well. Got a nice big gap though, has Sargent. Can he come out ahead? Hamilton saving some power unit now for the hard tyres. And then we're going to cut down. So he'll come to hard. It's going to be pretty slow, but we're gaining power unit. Sargent's already coming out the pits though. And he's going to get some nice clean air in P5. So he'll have work to do because 1, 2 are already way ahead. But he's going to be pretty quick. And if they pit, they're going to have to go to hards if they want to get to the end. So we're going to be very quick. Can we get all 47s now? That would be nice. Don't trust Hamilton though, starting that far back, as you can imagine. As Hamilton comes in. Could still use him though. I think we still probably will. Sargent takes over P1. Hamilton on the hards now jumps to P4. There's a Red Bull going past. We've got good tyre management, good power unit left. We can try and make this count. We've got softs, mediums and hards. Hamilton's already up to the top 4. We've got the Ferrari ahead of us. So we shouldn't be too bad here, because I'd imagine Verstappen and Leclerc both to still pit, which would be great. We've got to close that gap a little bit though, if they don't, but you would expect that they would have to pit or at least run out of tyres. We're pushing all the time. Let's push with Sargent. Let's get him in and out. Verstappen on the softs, I think, is going to be the issue. You can see him absolutely peeling away at the moment. Hamilton can't push too much. He's only on 66%. He needs 60 as he crosses this line. Sargent losing position. Loses P3 and P4, but he's going to come through. Rapido. And we're only on lap 8, remember. So 7. So still 2 laps to go after this one. P1 has flown. Verstappen is flying out front. He is due to pit. You can see him just coming in now. Surely we can get both cars ahead. Leclerc's holding us up though. Doing his best to hold us up. And we're comfortably ahead of the Red Bull, who's just coming out of the pits. Why can't we get past Leclerc on them mediums? Oh my God, we still can't get past. Now we are well clear of P4. Can Sargent get through? Hasn't been too clean for Sargent to get past Charles. P4 isn't closing enough. And now finally we can get through. Hamilton's got to watch his tyres here. He's only just on par with what he needs to do. We've got a Red Bull closing us in on soft tyres in P3. Now we might have to push at some stage with this. We've got to keep... There is the Red Bull. We are being hunted. We've got to keep some tyre though. That is the problem. The Red Bull not in sight just yet. There it is. There is Max Verstappen. Are we going to hold fire? We're going to push out of this corner. Are we going to hold? Yes, we are. Great 47. Just on the line, holding off from Max Verstappen. Another 47, 2 in a row for this account. Rival, real player, remember. We started so far back with Hamilton, but he comes home P11, P12, and we got a superior strategy right there and then. 2 out of 2 ain't bad, as we've got 1 Singapore to come as well next race. Level 3, not too bad for the rival, was it? With a decent car setup, lacking the cornering. So then, race number 3, Singapore. And hopefully it's going to be... I mean, I'm cautious about Hamilton's start here. That's my concern. We've got Baku coming up next. Will be a different annoyance. But I'm worried. I'm a little bit worried because he's got a lot of traffic to come through. Sargent, easy. Hamilton, not so much. Now we're going to go on to... I don't really need the race start here. I'm going to go timeless though. No, I'm going to go... I mean, race start is not too bad for him anyway. Probably going to go that. And hopefully we can get Hamilton through. Sargent should get a good start. Hamilton will get a perfect start. But it's how good can he get through the field? And it's not too bad to begin with in Singapore. He's up already into P9. Make it P8. Make it P7. Brilliant start by Hamilton. Better than the main account here. And he's already up to P6. Sargent out front. We've got Leclerc in P5. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to get through. We've got P4. Here we're going to get P... Oh my God, we're going to get P3. It's a beautiful start. Wonder what we do at Baku is going to be a little bit tricky. Whether or not we go for the one stop or two. But Sargent can absolutely fly around. And come back for mediums. Hamilton closing in on Lando, who pits. And then we're going to go to mediums too. So already after one lap of Singapore, we are into the lead. And looking at our third 47-point run. Which is exactly what we needed. Going to push these two in. And round this section, gain a bit of power unit back. You can see Hamilton just in the background. And he's going to come in, Sargent. Sargent performing well this week, not performing very well last week. We've got overtaking and speed, I think it is, for Baku coming up for the final one. As Sargent is in, we're going to double stack slightly here. Not so much perfect strategies. I mean, we lose 3 seconds in the pits. That's not good. Didn't think about that one too much, did we? But we should get out. Okay. Sargent still in leading. He's not too far behind Hamilton. When the he gets through and they pit, we'll be a lot quicker anyway. We'll gain some power unit back while we're stuck in the traffic as he's trying to get past Norris. And we'll probably just keep pushing Sargent ahead. It was looking good until that double stack of a pit stop. But it might be okay. Hamilton's all over the back of the McLaren. Sargent goes round. There's a pit stop in for a couple of cars now. Question is, can Hamilton get out ahead of them? And he is. He's going to get into P2 again. They are on the hard tyres. And now we're going to push Sargent because we need to create this gap. It's going to be medium and mediums. And that gap at the minute is about 8 seconds. So should be enough, but you never know with the gaps on this game. Sometimes they just absolutely shrink. We'll push them. Push Sargent in. There's the 2 cars behind that we're going to have to catch. What is it now? 9.3. So we should be able to push Hamilton through here. Should have enough. It's about 5 seconds for our pit stops. And you can see we had about a 10-second. We're only just... It's about half that in the end. Now Sargent comes out. We're going to leave him on conserve because we need to hold the field up. I mean, they're nowhere near, to be honest. We are literally straight on the back of them. And that is exactly what we need. Are they going to pit again as well? No. So Verstappen's going on the one stop. Hamilton ahead of us. Can we get through? Yes, P3. That is what we need. And P2 just to get. Sargent goes on round on his last lap, so Verstappen carries on 2. We are on the faster tyre though, so this should be just a waiting game. And are we going to have to wait very long? At the minute, should be part and parcel here. It's when we want to pull the trigger. Hamilton trying to pull the trigger on his own there. Here he comes, trying to make a move. We are just holding. We don't even have to hold. Look, straight past. Into P2. Sargent and Hamilton. Hamilton peeling away now. And he's going to take P1 and P2 home. And he's going to get it. Hamilton, Sargent, job done. Job done, exactly what we needed. What he said, we need these good points. 3 out of 3 with a tricky Baku to come. P16, P22 for the rival bot, it looks to be. We've got overtaking, I think, and speed it is to come from Baku. And then hopefully we can score the points. But we've done very solid. Been fairly easy. Again, strategy concerns at Baku. But we'll have to see what we face, who we face, and see if it's possible. But there you go. Level 5, level 3, Magnussen, and a decent cornering setup for the rival. So the final race then sees us head off to Baku. That overtaking and speed circuit that we was on about. We have got laps to come. 7 laps of Baku. Thinking about doing the 3 medium 4 hard here. Don't think it's worth doing a 2-stop. So we're going to see if that does allow us to come through. So we need overtaking and speed. We don't have a lot of that in the pocket. But we'll find out. We're going to go mediums and hards. Overtaking and speed. What could we use? We could use Taurus. We could actually use a bit of Eagle to try and help the situation. I might just use Eagle and see if that absolutely does help us get through. So this should make tyres comfortable. I don't have overtaking, which would have been nice. And we're going to get a poor start with Sargent. Hopefully it doesn't affect him too much. And then he can come back through. Zhou Guan Yu is into P3. Sargent's only dropped down to P6. He is on the hard tyres though, so he will come back at the field. P1 and P2 are on the softs. But we're already ahead with Zhou Guan Yu. These extra tyres mean that we can push more. We've got that speed set up on now as well. And you can see the softs are pretty quick at this stage. We're kind of struggling to keep up with them as Leclerc does allow us to go through. Sargent's just took 2 cars as well. So at the minute, looking very good. Down the straight we go. I mean, Zhou Guan Yu could actually do 4 laps quite comfortably here on the medium tyres. So we could actually look for softs. Sargent just getting overtaken. We could look for softs on Sargent. And he could be very quick at the end of this race. Especially with 20 tyre management extra on our car. That could be interesting, but I don't want to run out of tyres. I don't want to risk anything. You can see Zhou Guan Yu keeping in touch with the Red Bull. And he's probably going to go, I mean, I might have to go for hards. We'll see what the cars do. Do they go for 2 laps on these softs? They don't. They go for 3. So we're going to try and just keep pace. We're definitely going to go mediums, though. I think we will go hard for Zhou Guan Yu. We're not that far ahead, but I tell you what, Max Verstappen on them soft tyres, absolutely flying along. Question is, I mean, we could probably go mediums for Zhou Guan Yu. I might just try and cruise him on 4 mediums. I mean, it's going to be tricky to catch, though. I don't know if it's the right choice. We'll find out. I think he should be able to do this quite comfortably. Sargent carries on. He's got good tyres. He'll go for mediums. Verstappen's coming back out on the mediums. So he's going to go to the end. Don't think we've got the pace for this one. I think we're going to get unstuck. We'll see if we can catch him up with this car. I mean, look how quick Verstappen is. The question will be, can he do 4 laps, Verstappen? Surely not. Surely he's going to have to pit. But he's looking a lot quicker. I know we could have used an overtaking boost, but I wanted that extra little bit of tyre security. As Zhou Guanyu comes down the straight, surely Verstappen will have to pit again. And I think he's just going to run out of tyres on the last lap. Zhou Guanyu getting overtaken by Perez on the mediums now. So our pace, just not with it at the moment. Sargent can close the gap too here. Let's close the gap a little bit for Zhou. Probably should have done this before Perez got overtaken, because we're actually now being held up a little bit. Sargent is flying along. We haven't got the tyres really with Zhou Guanyu to push at all. Tyres for the rivals are less than 50%. But I tell you what, Verstappen is gone. Absolutely gone. It's going to be so close to perfection, but it's going to be so far at the same time. We've got to swap these cars around because Sargent has got the better of these tyres. Just a shame. Probably should have gone overtaking, but I would have been on too hard of a tyres. You can see the struggle that we're having already. So a little bit of learning. So close that they're going to have to stay out, these Red Bulls. They're not going to pit again. So we learned some. Just look at Zhou Guanyu's tyres. He's got nothing. He's not even going to get to himself. As Verstappen pits. I don't think we've got the tyre management, though, of course, to get Zhou Guanyu past him. Sargent can. So that's one for the learning curve on this one. We're going to have to really look after tyres. He has gone for softs. He's going to be a lot quicker than we are. Can we keep hold of just dropping 1 point maybe here? We might drop more, though, because surely the rest of the field are going to come back and attack Zhou Guanyu pretty quickly. But the Sargent is going to hold on. So it's just going to be the 1 point drop. I don't think we could have done anything differently with that one. We've run out of tyres. Can we hold P4, P5 who are coming hard? We can see them in the background coming now. We are going to drop one more. Yes, we are. We do drop one more, but we held on. We took a risk. We would have been slow on the hards anyway, but maybe we could have secured it. I did think the Red Bulls were going to go to the end, though. That's why we did it. But a 2 point drop over 4 races is not too bad at all. I'm happy with that. That's a happy performance. 45 points from Baku. Not our most favoured track for sure for the speed setup. So we take it and we move on, and that should see us through to the weekend's racing. 45 points, only dropping 2 through the whole of it. So close to perfection. And it was undone by that extra stop in Red Bull. 3 soft, 3 medium. I was tempted by the 1 stop. Didn't do it in the end though. Zhou Guanyu and Sargent, and that car setup too. Only 88 speed for us with that setup that we've got. But let's show you how we've got on then. It's a pretty good start. 186 points on this free-to-play account. We look forward to the weekend, but that will surely put us in some decent contention for some medals if we get through on Saturday, and then some good rewards on the Monday.